Welcome back to the MindGoals Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Siobhan Higgins, sport and performance psychology consultant, professional soccer player, yoga instructor, and soccer coach. The MindGoals Podcast is a space that I hold for myself, other athletes, and athletic personnel so that we can converse and discuss how we acquired the mindset that we have today, all with the goal in mind that any viewers or listeners can overall improve their mindset as well. Today, it is my honor to introduce a special guest who I am meeting for the first time today, professional dancer based out of Houston, Miss Kamryn.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yee. So for starters, the way that we normally start the pod is by introducing how we know each other. And since we're literally meeting for the first time today in person, I will just say that our common denominator is the University of St. Thomas. Go Celts.
Go Celts.
Yeah, got it. And yeah, I found you from one of my classmates because I got my master's in sport and performance psychology at St. Thomas. And Regia posted something about you, and I noticed that you had 3 ACL tears. And I said, wow, this girl is a professional dancer, went through it for quite some time, and I can really resonate because I've had 2 ACL tears myself from soccer. So that I know is a whole story in itself, and I'm going to dive into asking you those questions. But we also like the viewers to get to know our guest. And so first and foremost, where are you from?
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Kamryn, and I'm from Nederland, Texas. So an hour and a half east from Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do know Nederland. Doesn't it stand for like underwater? I don't know if you knew that. It is. It does.
I didn't know.
I think it's like Dutch. Neder means under.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
or land. Underland. Below land.
Interesting. I learned something.
I'll have to fact check that.
Let me ask my family. They probably know.
It's kind of like, yeah, actually, I think I should know this because the Netherlands is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Usually when I tell people I'm from Nederland, they think like the Netherlands. And yeah.
So you just said it funny.
Yeah. It's like, no, that's not where I wish. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. But near like the Beaumont area. Correct?
Yes, Beaumont.
Yeah. For viewers.
409. Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to the 409.
Yeah, 409, repping my city.
So how did you end up at the University of St. Thomas?
Yeah, so...
And you can rewind and kind of direct the story wherever you think is important.
So I was here. I moved to Houston when I was 11 years old with my mom because I was training at the Houston Ballet Academy.
Okay.
So I was in their professional training program where you train from 9 a.m. to like 4 p.m.
At 11 years old?
11 years old.
Holy cow.
So they kind of phase you in a little bit. Like it's not that rigorous at the very beginning, but by the time I was like 14, 15 years old, I was all day dancing professional ballet, professional ballet training.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. I had made a decision at a very young age that I wanted to be a professional ballerina when I grew up. I loved dancing with everything inside me, and I got to do it all day, which was so cool.
Yeah.
So I started to do school online.
Okay.
So I would do that in the evenings when I got home. And yeah, I got my first contract when I was 19 years old at Texas Ballet Theater in Fort Worth. And I was dancing over there, living the dream. This is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was in a ballet class one day and my knee twisted the wrong way. And it kind of like planted, my foot planted and my body kept twisting. And then I heard a pop. That was the first time I'd ever really injured myself, like tweaked ankles, you know, just like little things. Obviously I was dancing on point my whole life, so like bloody toes, like that type of stuff, but nothing like serious like this. So yeah, that's how I tore it the first time, and that's initially what got me to St. Thomas. I kind of made the decision that I needed to take a break from dancing and just go and explore school and college and see what that was all about. So that's how I ended up at St. Thomas.
Wow. It was you said 2018 was the first time you tore ACL, or
oh my goodness, 2019 maybe? 2019, like on the brink of COVID, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I can resonate because I actually never had any injuries either. Like, never had to sit out a game, never had to miss practice. Like maybe like got bumped here and there, but when I got injured, I mean, I was 18 years old. Were you you're probably 19?
19.
Yeah. For me, I was like, what is an ACL? Like, what does this mean? Okay, when can I go back in? And like just the look of like the trainer, whoever's like consulting with you, they're like, yeah, it's just going to be a little bit. It's going to be 9 months or more.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
You're like, hello?
Yeah. Excuse me?
Yeah.
When that was your whole
9 months?
life, you know, and especially for you, like you were doing it professionally at that time. And it takes a toll on you. What was your first like reaction to having like understanding that you had to be out of your sport for quite some time and that it would be a little different?
Yeah. I actually remember my first doctor's appointment to go and get it looked at. And like you said, like you're so young, you don't know a lot about your body. I didn't even know what an ACL was, really.
Yeah,
like
I was Googling mine.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I've got ligaments in my knees. I didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I remember laying down on the table and, you know, they're like bending your leg, doing all the things to kind
I hate that test.
It's terrible. You probably had it a lot too. I think I've done it like maybe 20 times on both legs. It's so bad. And this will be a story for another time, but I used to do it on myself too because I was so paranoid that I had like done it again. It just because 3 times I was like, can I trust my knees? But anyways, so yeah, I remember the first time I went to the doctor, finding out that I had torn it. Oh, it was so terrible. Like I went home that night. Now, mind you, like I was done dancing for that time. I knew that I wasn't going to be dancing for a really long amount of time. That first was really hard for me to cope with. But the fact that like I had done something to my body and you can't see it.
Yeah.
Like usually some injuries you can see scratches and like on stuff on the outside of your body. But I think it was really difficult and scary that it was on the inside and you could feel, but you could not see like what was wrong with me. So, but I just remember crutching home and I was at my mom's house at the time and like going into my bedroom and just laying on the bed and like just tears. And my family didn't know what to do. They were just like, they're there, like just trying to be there for me because they knew how much that this meant to me. Yet there was really nothing they could do except just sit and comfort me and wait until the surgery. So
yeah. Oh man. I know you brought me back to that moment too when I was at the doctor's office, you know, with my dad, and we kind of knew because for me, the athletic trainer at the school, I did it like out of school.
Right.
They said, I think it's an ACL tear, but we'll get you checked out. And I'm like, what is that? So I was Googling and everything, went to the doctor, they confirmed, and I was just like, you know, just tears all over again because for me it was like going to go to college, so it wasn't professional quite yet, but it's like, I had waited again my whole soccer career to do this, to go to college, and it's just so devastating. But there's a silver lining always. God has a plan and he's so faithful. And for me, like for me, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I have faith and like I know that he will guide me, and that, you know, maybe I wasn't even meant to play soccer. Don't know. Maybe I'm meant to learn from this. Maybe this is to build resiliency. Maybe this is to show how great doctors are and like how great medicine is. I don't know. But in the time it is heartbreaking. Yeah.
You have a great outlook on that. I love that.
Thank you. I mean, it's taken time, you know, as you know, like in that moment, it's really tough, but I was like, okay, let's take it one day at a time because you really don't know what's going to look like.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
Yeah. So you went to, back to St. Thomas because, that's right. I guess you didn't go straight into college. You just went straight into your professional career.
Right. So I had graduated. I think it was like it should have been my freshman year of college was whenever I was dancing. Okay. So I wasn't too far behind when I went to St. Thomas, but I felt like it was so weird because I hadn't gone to public school since the 7th grade.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I was just trying to be normal and fit in. It was like, hey everyone, like I'm literally a dancer and I don't know what to do. And it's so funny trying to navigate that. But
how was that transition? I mean, cause that's a really big, like, I mean, would you consider yourself homeschooled then, or because it was online class, or no?
Yeah, at homeschooled.
Yeah, and so then, I mean, there's a lot of kids that are homeschooled and then end up going to university. And
right.
It's probably I didn't think about it because I didn't have to experience that, but that's a big transition in itself.
Yes.
And so, man, you're going through like kind of 2-3 transitions, like different career because you're starting to slow down. You know, I feel like school's kind of slow. Like you're having to sit and focus. You're not able to be so mobile because of the injury. And then you're trying to navigate a whole new social aspect of life.
Yeah. Wow. I just remember, I think the biggest struggle for me was, and I know you can relate to this, and I know so many athletes can relate to this, but just putting my identity in my sport and in dance, and then having all of that like stripped away. Yeah. And then you're like, ooh, okay, what now? Like, who am I?
Yeah.
What am I without dance? But it's crazy because if you think about it, all the friends that I currently have, all the people that I met like from the first day of freshman year, they knew me as Kamryn, not as Kamryn the dancer.
Aww.
So, and I would tell them like, oh, I'm a dancer, but they didn't like want to be around me because I was good at dance. It was just my personality. So I think that kind of healed that part of me and like helped me realize that I am more than just an athlete or more than just a good dancer. Like there's other parts of me that people like, and that helped. So
yeah, that's so nice because that's so true, and that's a nice lens for people to look at you as, because they see you as like Kamryn, my classmate, Kamryn from biology, Kamryn, and you know, Kamryn's from ministry, like, and so that's great. And like for me, I do sport, you know, mental performance coaching, and I speak with athletes, and we talk about times like this, and in order to like prevent an identity crisis, we just, you know, we try to teach our athletes to look at themselves as like a full picture. Like, what are you? Like, who do you identify as? Are you like even go back to like, are you a sibling? Are you a big sister? Are you a daughter? Are you a mother? Are you like a soccer player? Do you like tennis? Do you like video games? Do you like to write? Are you a writer? Are you a reader? Like all these different things that characterize yourself, so that when it comes time, or if there are some like very abrupt instances where someone gets injured, it's not just that your whole identity is stripped away. Like you are Kamryn, this, and this. And I'm Siobhan, this, and this. And it really helps. I never want to like prepare an athlete for something horrible to happen. Like I'm not like prepare for the worst thing. No, it's more of just think of these things really, because there will be a time where our bodies won't be able to take the athleticism that we do. And we'll be a different person. We won't be like the soccer player or the dancer anymore. And yeah. And so I know, yeah, it's hard, but that's really sweet. Like going to UST and so you're like, oh, I'm the new kid. No one knows me. Like, did you know anyone when you went?
I did not know a single soul. Oh, man. It's so scary. It was so scary. That time of my life was really scary. I was just doing like bold things, like really just. That's like the school motto too. Yes, be your bold self. So.
It is. And wait, that's so nice because, okay, so for me, I actually graduated from St. Thomas in 2018 in the fall. And so after that, or that year before, that's when they started to change the slogan to like be your bold self. Oh my gosh. And I did love that. And I did watch your interview with St. Thomas, and so they changed all like the signs around campus, the billboards. And so whenever you mentioned like before I even heard that you saw the billboard and you mentioned like the word bold came to you, I got chills instantly because I was like, crazy. She probably saw a sign, and you did, like you literally saw one on the highway.
A billboard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of a lion. That's crazy. I didn't know that they did like a rebrand and that the timing of that too, like makes me even more emotional because that's right before I was about to go and go to UST.
It was. Yeah. I can't remember what it was before, but they were really pushing that. Like they changed, you know, the signs, obviously they changed like with like an athlete or the, what professor is there and like a little blurb around the, like those flags.
Yes.
Yeah. It was be your bold self. And then they put it in like, more of the Instagram, stuff like that. That's so they kind of did a rebrand and really pushed the marketing for that. Wow, so, I know.
And that's why I'm here.
Timing.
Yeah, shout out to the marketing at UST.
Shout out to
y'all are doing a great job.
Yeah. Wow. So okay, so you're at UST. You're rehabbing your first ACL, correct?
Yes. Well, okay. So I was pretty much recovered from that ACL tear. That was a really quick recovery. It was about 7 months. Very, very quick. I know.
Quick. Yeah.
Well, no, you're so right. Like, I'm like, yeah, that was nothing. But in terms of ACLs, like that was quick, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. With like no complications. It's like
no complications. I felt like my knee was strong. It felt good.
Awesome.
Now, I was not in shape. I didn't feel like dancer, like it was just not, I felt like an athlete, like I could go and run and jump and sprint, but I needed to get back into my dance shape, which I'm sure that's the same with every sport. You know, you do your rehab, but then you have to get back into your sport after. So I was kind of just navigating that at UST. I am a dance major, so I didn't want to leave that behind completely, but I went to UST and I was pretty much healthy dancing. I joined the dance team. I was a captain of that. And then I was taking my dance classes. So just living my happy little dancey life. My little dancey life at college.
Wait, so Kamryn, I don't know if this is going to give you chills again, but
oh goodness, it probably will.
Maybe. Did you know that we like didn't have a dance team before that?
Yeah.
You did
I
know?
did know that.
And did you know like that?
But
dance
you reminded
studio,
me of it.
The dance studio is new. Like I think I've seen where you train and stuff. Like that part is new. That upstairs. Yeah.
It just makes you want to like cry because it's like
Timing.
Timing is crazy, and you don't like see it, but you just have to trust that like there's a reason and there's a purpose and like that. Wow. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
I remember the day the coach of the dance team came into our dance program classes, so for like our major, and she was like, hey, does anybody want to join the dance team? And I was like, wait, me? Like I really want to dance really bad, please. And I was like, wait, this is cool. I remember like thanking God, like opportunity, even though it's not what I thought I was going to be doing, I'll still take it. Because, you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. So I was doing that and then joined that team, and I think I was healthy for, it's all kind of a blur. It kind of blurs together. But I think I was dancing for maybe a year and a half-ish. And then this was my sophomore year. I was in a practice and I was doing a jump. And I just remember in that time of my life, I was really working myself like really hard. I wanted to be very involved in a lot of different aspects of the school. And I was working outside of school. And that morning we had practice and I was practicing a jump and I landed wrong. And I think I landed with like locked knees, which is so like that's just not good. Your knees aren't supposed to, they should bend and absorb, but they didn't that time. And I immediately like buckled and fell to the ground. I was in there with another girl and she like looked at me and I looked at her and I said, I just tore my other ACL.
Because you know, yeah.
I just knew.
I know too.
And you just know the feeling. And she was just like, no. I was like, I just did it again. And it's like the world stopped spinning and I was just in the room and I was like, can you please call someone? But I ended up limping down to the trainer. She wasn't there. Shout out Larissa. Leslie, yes. There's a new one. Larissa, yeah. But no, I love Leslie. Leslie's the GOAT, but yeah. No, my girl Larissa, love her too, but she wasn't there. So then we called her and she was just like, yeah, she's trying to comfort me and we're really close now, but we didn't really know each other at the time. And she was like, let's just get it looked at, and I'm sure that we both kind of knew, but nobody wanted to say anything.
It's probably difficult for the people to tell you because I
can only imagine, you know,
they know. And it's more of like, you never want to diagnose until you actually know, but
true.
But in our bodies, I'm like, something's off.
Yeah, something's weird. Something feels weird.
When I'm moving, it's all loose and it's locking.
Loosey goosey.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what, I mean, you said it did blur, but in terms of timeline.
So you're good. No, I'm like, I said dancy earlier. Like, I don't even know. I've never said that in my life. You're fine.
But we're going to clip that. Don't worry.
No, but,
so second one. And it was your other knee, correct?
Yes, it was my opposite knee.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I've heard, and I don't know if this can be confirmed, but it's likely that you will tear the opposite one because you're compensating. I'm not sure. I think,
I don't know. I'd have to look at research right now, but I've heard that is common because but I think it's more common like immediately after.
So that's weird that I did it. Like it was like a year, I think.
Yeah.
In some months.
I did mine 10 years later. Like 10 years is such a long time. I'm like, I'm out of here. And then I was like, wait,
you're
what?
Like, I'm good.
Yeah. But no, just to say, like, I think obviously now there's been more research over the past freaking 10 years. And like, it's been the first ACL recovery I had was way different than the second. And it's just really incredible to see the progress of the system right now.
Yeah.
But in terms of statistics, I don't know. I'd love to check, but we do need to look at the research.
Yeah, let's look at that after this.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So did it about a year later, and then that recovery. And when you're doing this, like, where was your physical therapy? Was it more like based at college because you're like a campus athlete now?
Yeah. So I was doing a little bit at school, and then I would also go to Memorial Hermann, a clinic over there, and I would do some at Memorial Hermann. So
okay, which one? Because I also did
Shepherd Square.
Okay, Shepherd Square. Yeah, I almost went to that one. I do. I just finished. Shout out, my 7 months. I just finished, but I did the medical center one.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like super close to UST also.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did that, and then like some at school, right? Because
Yeah. So at that point, I was so I was just really like, let's go. Come on, let's get this over with. Like, I just wanted to get through the recovery.
Okay. So mentally you're like, okay, I know what to do. Like, let's do it again. Like,
let's do it again. I was like, yeah, I can do this. Sorry, we're talking about the second one still, right? Okay, that's sorry.
Just girls on their knees.
Second one. This is still the second one. See, they all go together. But yeah, so the second one, I think I was like, yeah, I can do this. I was taking it like day by day. It was like my like motto, mostly just one day at a time. And I was 6 months into that recovery process. And I was in PT one day, and I was doing like an ab workout on the ground, like some bicycles. So my legs were kind of like going out like this, and I was laying down on my back. Okay. And I like finished the set, and I was just like letting my legs like hang out in front of me. And then I kind of moved it to the side, so like my feet were turned out. Yeah. And I was just like, that doesn't feel right. And I did it again, and I was just like, and this is gonna sound really gross. I'm sorry if we have some like people that get
trigger warning.
Flinchy. Yeah, trigger warning. Turn it off if you don't want to hear this. But it did feel like my leg was not supported, and it was kind of like
hyperextending, like
hanging
wobbly.
a little bit. Yeah, it was like,
really,
yeah.
And wow.
And we finished like the workout, and actually prior to that I had been doing like some box jumps, and I was having like some buckling side to side, and then that happened, and I was just like
so there was no like instance, you just noticed like this doesn't feel right?
We can't really, I talk about it with my physical therapist sometimes, and I think there was an instance when it was retorn, but it was a graft. Okay. So it didn't feel like my actual
I feel fine.
Sorry, no, you're good. Everyone's fine.
I also have an allograft.
Yes. So it wasn't my actual ligament. So the sensation, the noise, there was no noise. The sensation, I felt a sensation one day when I did something, but it wasn't a buckle. Nothing happened. It was just kind of like spikes going down my calf. And I was like, that's weird, but kept doing physical therapy after that. So I think we maybe could pinpoint it to that day, but it's hard to say.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. And then, I guess I didn't ask, but were all 3 of your recoveries allografts? Like, did you get the same one, or did they pull from your quad, your hamstring, or was it like a cadaver? So
I got hamstring on my first one. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we came to that conclusion because I was going to be kneeling a lot with the new type of dancing I was going to be doing, not so much ballet. And so we wanted to make sure that the scar wasn't going to be right on top of my kneecap. Yeah. The other one, the left one, the first time was my quad tendon. Okay. And then the third time was my patellar tendon, I think.
Wait, you are so unique. Like, this is kind of cool.
Had all 3.
Actually, like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So. I don't even know. And it was different doctors too. So really? Yeah, this first one was at Houston Methodist, and then I went to Memorial Hermann because it was through the school. But I just remember the second 2 times being like, I don't know. I don't really, just fix it, please. Like they were asking me like, well, what do you feel? I don't know. Just please fix it. Yeah. Like, I was so like exhausted by that point that I just wanted it to be like good to go.
Yeah. So, like whatever their preference was, whatever they said.
Yeah. Whatever they felt good with, whatever they, you do what you need to do, and I'll just figure it out after with the recovery. So.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's also so unique though, that you've had all 3. It's kind of cool. Yeah. You're special.
Thanks. I'm special. I don't really think about it a lot, but it's kind of crazy though.
So I got both, like my left and my right, and they were both like cadavers. So like a dead person's graft. I don't know what type of ligament. It didn't necessarily have to be their ACL. It could have been like just another ligament, and they put it in, and it kept for my first one. And sometimes like they don't really recommend those because your body will reject it, or it won't integrate, or like you don't really, like, you feel great all the time, but it's not healed all the way. So though it's like a longer recovery because you feel great, it looks great, it's strong, but it's not like in your body yet, and it really won't be for like a couple years. So but you will be like cleared to do sports like 7, 8, 9 months.
Why did you choose to get that one? Sorry, now I'm interviewing you.
No, it's fine. It's a good question for people to know, ACL club. But the first time I was 18, the doctor that I had said he had more of like a holistic approach, and I actually used the same surgeon again this time. And I appreciated that. And he said, I don't believe in like re-injuring the body in order to repair it. And that stuck with me. I was 18 and I was like, makes sense. And then at that time, there wasn't as much research, but what they could tell, like everything was kind of like, yeah, patellar tendon's good, hamstring's fine, quad maybe, I don't know, like really, I'm just saying. But that way I was like, okay, don't re-injure. So maybe I won't have any quad issues, or maybe I won't have any hamstring issues. Also, I won't have like the patellar scar. Take away. And like I was 18, and so it was more of like my body's still growing, still developing, like it's like the end of puberty time for us. And so I went with it, and then it was fine. So for me, I was like, that worked, I want the same thing again, because why not? And so I did that, and then I went to the same doctor, and he still said same thing, but he was like, you know, you're older now, you're 10 years older. If you want a different one, we can do that. But again, I would recommend this. If I were to tear my ACL today, I would do it as well. And then the research shows this, and this. Like there's been more research. And so I was like, yeah, that's the one I'm most comfortable with. So I went with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But for me, I've been trying to be more patient this time, because not that I'm like eager to play. I mean, I obviously am to like get back to sport, but there's no rush for me. You know, I guess in terms of like us growing up and bodies not being able to do things that they used to be able to do. But they like, if you get a hamstring or patellar, like you could get cleared a little earlier, because your body will like, not that you're stronger, but you kind of know, because it's more painful. So the ones that you've had are quite painful. Mine are painful too, but like I've heard that those ones are more painful. But it does that so that because it like heals faster. And so for me, it doesn't heal faster. So I have to be patient. They're like, you look good, you're passing your test, this and this, but we're going to wait just because the graft has to heal.
It has to settle in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the worst too, because you're like, I know my body, but
I know. But then I'm also like, I don't want to do something and then you're like, told you so. Or I mean, hey, stats are stats, but I'm not trying to like defy odds or like, you know, I'm like, I'm not trying to be superhuman. Yeah, that's okay. But
yeah, you're just gonna take your time. That's good.
So then third time, how did that one happen? Or did you just go with the third time?
Yeah, I think that was the third time.
Nuh-uh. It was the third time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so wait, but in that third time process, like,
oh, like the recovery after it.
Yeah. So, oh man, that must have felt like a really long time, because it was like you were 7 months. You said at that time, or 6?
6 months, I think.
6. You're nearing the end.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't feel good. You get an MRI. They're like, yeah, actually, was it always just ACL, or did anything else ever tear?
I want to say every time it was like a little bit of meniscus fraying too. So, but yeah, every time I think it was both ACL and meniscus. So,
and they did a meniscectomy, or did they repair the meniscus?
I think they just repaired
it. So like, were you locked in a brace kind of like
locked?
My girl,
just like a little pirate.
Yeah.
Straight leg around.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was crazy on campus too. Just getting to class and stuff. But
I hated when it would rain, because your crutches and like, I don't want to slip out. And like,
I did that once.
Same. And it hurt so bad because I put my leg down and I was like,
yeah, actually it's embarrassing too. You already feel bad for yourself, and you don't want people to be like, oh, look, and then you're like on the floor with like crutches in the air. Yeah. They're like, oh, she hurt herself again. But that after the one back to back, when I was only 6 months recovered, halfway through the process, and then hearing that I was going to have to start all the way again from square one, like that was it. I was just there. I don't know how there was still like a little bit of hope and fight and like grit in me, but it was like I was digging like so deep. I literally was like, I have nothing left to give. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to say I ever had thoughts of giving up, but I just wanted to like just be done with the injuries. I was like wondering why it kept happening. I knew that I was given a gift and like given this talent for a reason, but why could I not share it in the way that I wanted to? It just none of it made sense.
Yeah. How did you Because I feel that too, and I've like gone through those thoughts as well. Like, wow, like maybe this isn't my calling. Like maybe this isn't. But again, I'm like, I pride myself in like having a talent, and I'm like, okay, obviously I need to use it somehow. Like, have I actually used it all like to the full potential? Because I don't feel that way. So I'm sure you probably were like, no, I can't be done here because like I have more to give. I have more to offer. So how did you like mentally overcome that? Or like what was that like little ounce that kept you going? Like what? Truly, because I've been there and I feel that too, but it's different for everyone.
Yeah. No, you said that so well. Like, this can't be it. Like, I have more to give. I felt like just throughout my whole career, like in ballet, I got so close to where I wanted to be every time. I was so close, like an inch away, and then it was just like be ripped away from me. So I think, I'm also like a really like, I don't want to say stubborn, but I'm going to prove to you that I can do it. Like at the end of the day, please tell me I can't do something because I want to prove that I can. Like I love, yes. What is it? You can't win, so win. Yeah. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
I love it.
You can't, so do it.
So do it. I just love, like, I don't know. I just think that I love like hearing an underdog story. I've always loved like that type of thing. And so that's just like instilled in me, I think too. So I think that coupled with the fact that I still like had so much passion for dancing that I told my brother one day, he was like, are you ever going to like give up trying to rehab your knees? And like, maybe you should try to find something else that you love to do. And I looked at him and I was just like, I would rather keep tearing my ACLs for the rest of my life and keep going through this and never dance again.
Wow. So you love dancing.
It's like deep love for it. And I think that's really what got me through. As well as that time around, that third time, it was really hard for me mentally. I ended up reaching out to a sports psychologist at UST, and she really, really helped me. We would meet like maybe once every 2 weeks and just talk about some like coping skills. And I still have it on my mirror, but she had printed out this like printout for me, and it was all the negative things and the negative thoughts in my head and how I could counteract them and flip them to have different outcomes, I guess. So
yeah, like reframe your thinking.
That's basically what we were doing. And I put it on my mirror and I would like look at it while I'm brushing my teeth every morning. So just little things like that, staying in touch with family and friends and kind of flipping my thinking to like, this isn't the end. Maybe like God's just trying to give me an opportunity to experience other parts of my life that I had to sacrifice growing up the way I did. And I've learned that he really was giving me the opportunity to like experience just like a homecoming or, like just the little things that I miss because I was training 24/7. So.
Which is a great segue because if you didn't go to school, like if you didn't go to high school, there was no homecoming. But y'all, I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this. Kamryn was Miss UST at St. Thomas. She was our homecoming queen. I forgot we have a queen on the show.
Hi. I miss UST. Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's so awesome. I've had like one of my friends was like a president, so I'm like I have a president on the show. Now I have a queen and royalty.
Look at that. I'm crying. I don't feel like royalty. I'm just Cam.
I told you you're special. And St. Thomas, obviously, no, seriously, like that's something that your peers vote for, and that's something that people see in you, and it's really big. Like, I mean, think of it what you will, but the criteria and like the nominations, it's really because of like your character. Like you are bold. You seriously. Like you symbolize like the epitome of like being a bold athlete, being a resilient human. Like I only have really just met you, but like your energy is great. You're sweet, and I can tell that you're genuine. And
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Yeah, and again, like sports is a hard time, but and life in general as well. And everything that you learn in sports is going to help you in life, and I'm sure you can already see that. But life is hard.
That's what I love about sports dancing. It teaches you so much, like resilience, how to like stick with something even if it's hard. Like you don't wake up feeling the same way every day. There's some days your body's not working with you, and then there's other days where you're like, well, I'm having the best day of my life, and you don't even know why. It's just how it is. It teaches you like the ups and downs of life, and it's taught me so much.
Discipline, resiliency, and like this is something that, I mean, I've had people ask me, and like athletes will ask too, or like parents, it's like, how do I teach my child to be resilient? I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't wish bad things upon you, but for me personally, you just get it from experiencing life and getting knocked down, getting failures, getting no's, having setbacks. Like that's how you learn, because you have to learn how to come back from it. Otherwise, like if you could quit, you could stop, and quit has such a negative connotation. And like for sometimes people, quitting is the good option. Like that is what's for them.
Right.
But it's about how you react to your situation in life and how you move forward from it and like what you gain from it. Like, is that going to stop you? Is that going to stop you shining your bright light? Or are you going to be able to like tune it into another segue? Like, so.
Yeah. There's always a silver lining, like you said earlier, I think. And there's always opportunity to like give hope and spread a message, even though you're going through bad things.
Definitely. Yeah. My injury was like 2 years ago, and I remember sitting in this kind of similar thing, but I like took a break from my sport, just because I guess a little bit of burnout. And I was like, maybe I'll try life a little bit. Maybe I'll work. And then slowly, with all the things that I was doing, I built up my love for the game again. And I was like, okay, well, I can still do this. So I like really took a chance, went and played. And then I got injured like 2 weeks after. So it was kind of like almost there. And I said, be serious, God. Like, what is this about?
Like so for real right now.
Like what? I said, okay, that's cute. I just moved across the world.
Oh my goodness.
And now what? And so that's when I was like sitting there thinking like, okay, this again has to be for something great. I'm like, ooh, can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go. Exactly.
But in the time, I'm like, you're crying yourself to sleep.
Oh,
you're
yes.
like praying about it every single day. And then, but you learn how to deal with it because you see who's there for you. You learn how to be faithful, like more so, or maybe not. Like, and that happens. And like, that's everyone's personal journey, but you just got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, for sure. I also think too, like injuries or like just anything that wrecks your plans in life, it's a redirection.
Correct.
And in the moment it's not. You're literally, you could think that it's over, life is over. But I think that also kept me going too, is knowing that like this is just setting me up for something else. And even though it was the craziest life switch that I could have thought of, I just had to be open to it and like trust that it was a good plan and that it was going to lead me good places. So
definitely. And I think, I don't know, I'm gonna take a chance here, but I think that you're a pretty optimistic person. I think you have to be in these senses, and I am too. And so when things like that happen, I kind of sat there and I laughed. I'm like, okay, cool. So now what? Like how, obviously I'm going to cry about it, but then I'm like, okay, haha, now what? Like, let's move. Like, let's do something about it. Because you can only like sit and sulk for so long. And you're like, okay, that's not me. Let's get out of it. Let's move forward. What's the game plan now?
Yeah. We're similar, I think. Yeah. I was like maybe that night of crying, and then woke up literally the next day after surgery, boom, you're in physical therapy. Like, it's like, all right, day one, let's get it going. Because you just one foot in front of the other, and you just got to keep going forward. The next best thing, do the next best thing. So
normally the way that I like conclude a show is by having our guest, I was like, do a dance. Okay.
I was like, do you want me to sing?
Yeah. Someone has sang before.
Wait, no, I'm not a singer.
No, it's you have the floor to kind of say anything you want. So if you want to give someone a shout out, if you want to give some advice, or if you want to like leave with a quote or something that's like kind of kept you going, the floor is yours to be able to say that.
Okay. I guess I'll do a quote.
Okay.
I've seen on the internet, it's said by JJ Watt, but I feel like he got it from somebody else, so I don't really know. But
okay.
It's success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day.
Yes.
And that got me through just all those hard times. Like, you don't get an opportunity and it's yours and you keep it. Like, you have to put in the work every day. And yeah, I just think about that anytime I'm going to practice or whatever I do in life. You have to continue to put in that 1% to keep growing and getting better. So
definitely. Yeah, I love that. I wonder if he did really say that. He probably did, because it sounds like a spin-off some.
Yeah.
It's more of like, like you're at the dinner table, you have to constantly work to put food at it.
There you go.
Yeah, gotta eat.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's been seriously a pleasure getting to know you.
Yeah, this is so fun. Story. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And I look forward to keeping in touch with you.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and maybe going to some USC alumni events. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate you. And happy Thursday, everyone.
Yay, thank you.